Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today I just want to show you guys a little electrical trap base that I've come up with, implementing the new Tesla coil. As you can see from the top, we can't see any electrical component, no windmill, no solar panels. And if we drop down here and have a little look in here, you can't see any electrical component at all. So I'll just show you how it works now. Okay, so I've just turned God mode off. We'll just see how fast this actually kills a full kit. I'll even have my meds out. Okay, I'm just going to get stuck into it and show you guys how this actually works. As you all probably know by now, there's a pressure pad underneath the mat. There's a Tesla coil there, and a heartbeat sensor and door controller. I found putting the Tesla coil here instead of up here on the roof was better because I did find a blind spot here while I was crouching that I wasn't taking that much damage. By putting it there, there's literally nowhere to escape. Even on top of this furnace, you're copping full damage. The best thing about this trap also is that the Tesla coil is receiving over 30 power. I believe its maximum is about 35, so it kills a full gear pretty much instantly. So coming over this side now, we have our generator, 3 branches and 2 timers, and that's it. That's everything you need. All this stuff is pretty much you can get this in vanilla in pretty much one day. I've done it many times. I'm able to get all of these components in one session, so it's not that hard to get, and it's quite simple. Let me just explain to you how it works. So the pressure pad, when you step on it, it outputs 1 for like a second. It's enough time to force start the generator. So we've got our pressure pad coming into our force start. It force starts the generator, which then runs the generator, and the generator will output 40 to our circuit. Okay, so the reason why I have 2 timers is because the way a door works in Rust is once it receives power, it opens, and once it stops receiving power, it closes. So this first timer is set to 1, and the second timer is set to 30. So this first timer controls the door, right? It receives power for 1 second, and then after that 1 second, the door closes. Now, the reason behind the second timer is so that if I didn't have the second timer, if the person was to come in here and then lose line of sight of that heartbeat sensor for 1 second and then somehow survive and come back, the door would reopen. So that's why I've got that second timer there as like a buffer, and I set that to 30. You can set that to whatever you want. You can set it to 6,000 if you want, but 30 seconds is enough. No one can survive 30 seconds, and that pretty much just stops them from losing line of sight. And even if they do come back into this section, they won't be able to get out. The door will stay closed for 30 seconds. And it'll remain closed unless someone comes within that heartbeat sensor. So that's the whole reason I have the 2 timers. Okay, so what I've done is I've just put 1 low grade in the generator just to show you guys how long 1 low grade actually lasts and how cheap this trap base is to run. Also keep in mind, so you're slowed when the Tesla coil is on, so it's really hard to actually leave. And also, the Tesla coil takes damage, and I believe it takes high qual to repair. So make sure you got some spare high qual in the base just to repair it before it breaks. I'm not sure if it actually breaks. I've never ran it all the way down, and it takes a little bit because once it gets damaged, you have to wait 20 seconds or 30 seconds before you can actually repair it. Alright, I'm just going to show you guys quickly how to wire this. I'm going to do it quite messy. It's not going to be very neat, but I've had a few people ask me in my previous electrical video if I could show the wiring, just because it was a little bit hard to follow. So I'm just going to do this really quick and just explain a few things on the way through. So with the pressure pad here, it's good to put the pressure pad down first, then the mat obviously, but with the wiring, make sure you do the wiring after you put the mat down, simply because it's just easier to tell if your cable's exposed. See how you can see a little bit of the green there? That means the cable will be exposed, so you want to try and hide the cable as best as possible so that the person coming in to the base doesn't see it. So right there's good. See how you can't see it through the mat? And you just want to bring the pressure pad to the force start of the generator. So the power out will be feeding our first branch. I'm just going to do this messy, so excuse this. Our first branch will be feeding the timer, and what I like to do is just connect all the branches together so I know that they're all feeding each other correctly. Now with the branches, you can set them all to the minimum of 2. I think they're already preset to 2, and our last branch here will be feeding this timer. Now what you want to do is you want to just put one low grade in now, because you can't actually set the timers. So if you put one low grade in now, you can actually set the timers. So I've set this one already to 1 and this one to 30. You can just turn that off, take the low grade out. So out of our first timer here, we're going to be going into our door controller. And then our power in of our heartbeat sensor will be getting fed by our second branch, which is here. And the power out of the heartbeat sensor will be going to the right hand side here of our second timer. Now the load side of this timer will be feeding the toggle on of this timer, and final thing now will be the Tesla coil. It's important that you run the wires so that the person obviously can't see them when they're sticking their head in here. They literally can't see anything. Okay, so we'll just give that a little test now. Another thing you would probably want to do is maybe have a second entrance to the base, simply because if you do set the trap, you can't actually walk back out. You'll step on top of the trap itself. Another thing is, if you do get an armored door, it might be good to peek in there to see if the person's dead. And yeah, let's just test to see if it works. This is one low grade, so I'm stuck here now, door's closed, and obviously I'd be dead by now. Alright, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is just a trap concept, so I'm interested to know how you guys implemented it into your bases. If there's any ideas or things you think I could have done differently, just let us know. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.